We are friends, digging each other, taking time to talk it over.
Sorry.
You know what I should mention since are we going?
Yeah, your chord's not in though.
Is it in now?
Yep, you're in.
Kinda.
That's what she
Yeah,
said.
now you're in. Nice.
Hey,
Is it in?
nice. That's what she said.
Did we start?
We started.
Hey, kids. Sunday brunch for Monday.
Oh, Sunday brunch for Monday.
Sing it to me, Brent. Sing it to me now.
Sunday brunch for Monday.
That's what you got.
Sunday brunch for
Sunday
Monday.
brunch for Monday. Stay on
Yeah.
beat. Stay on beat. Don't
Stay
go off
on
beat.
beat.
We need your own beat. If you're gonna have a beat, you got to stay on beat. Keep slowing down.
I know.
Sunday brunch for Monday. Sunday brunch for Monday. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Brent Morin. This is Jason Collings. Welcome
me.
back to another Sunday brunch for Monday.
Holy shit, we're talented.
No, we are. It's too much. Did you see how Will didn't do shit?
No, he bobbed his head.
I was also in awe. I was like,
Yeah, he's bobbing his
Really?
head. What if he just chimed in, Sunday brunch for Monday, and they just did the best rap, you know?
Oh, shit.
People think I'm gay, but I'm not brown. You know what I mean?
If I was, I would do much better.
Speaking of much better, I'm feeling much better. I don't know if you guys know. Remember last week I was coughing a little bit off to the side.
Yep.
Thought I might have had full blown corona. That's
This is something
coronavirus.
I-
the
like-
old CV.
Yeah, full blown
is-
corona to the bone is what I thought I had.
Well, this is what I wanted to ask you because we talked about this off camera. You had mentioned you hadn't been like sick in 2 years, and
Yeah.
your brother
Oh,
was
yeah.
on last week. But was that on camera where he
That
was
was
saying
on camera.
it?
He's like, I
'Cause
haven't
he
been
was
sick in so
concerned when your
long.
brother was in
Yo,
the
but
car.
I wasn't. It wasn't jinx. You're thinking of the jinx thing, right?
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
Well, yeah, but also how funny is that if you're like, oh, I've
But
been
I was
sick
already
in years.
But I was
You're-
already sick. I was saying
Yeah,
that because
that's
I
what
was
he was
already. I was like, this pisses me off
Oh,
because I haven't been like this in 2 years. I wasn't like, hey guys,
I am. It's like he goes,
and then
God damn
full
it, David.
blown corona to the bone. People are panicking so much about the coronavirus.
People have to really read about the coronavirus. Do you
Yeah.
understand it?
I understand
What do you
it
understand
enough.
about it?
I understand. Next question.
No, what do you understand
no,
about
I don't.
it?
I think it's,
my name's Will, and I understand nothing.
I understand it. You know what? I know it's not as bad as everyone makes it to seem. It's. I
It
know.
is.
You know who I talked to is Michelle, the nurse.
Yeah, she said she's had some
She's-
cases at her
yeah,
hospital.
she's like, there's so many more cases than
the media's talking
people.
about.
Yeah, there's so many.
yeah.
And also,
She
it's
tells
like,
me
it's.
there's 6 people I know that have it.
Yeah, she's like, it's not that bad.
Wait a
Unless you're
minute.
like an old man with no immune system.
Hey,
it should
man.
be. You know,
That's actually good, but he's getting better at the burns. He burned me a couple times last week.
Yeah, it's like any virus. You just got to let it run its course,
Yeah.
and then the only people that need to be concerned are people that are really old or people with a heart condition.
Right.
Or
but other
babies
than
or
that,
something,
if
right?
it's a virus that you get, you take.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor. He goes, I could prescribe you an antibiotic, but I don't even know if it's going to work. You just need to write it out. Liquids, soup.
Also, by the way, he doesn't have coronavirus. Like we're talking as if you were
I
getting
might have
cured.
had corona
maybe
to
you
the
beat
bone,
it.
dude.
Maybe you beat it.
Yo,
You could beat Corona.
Beat the shit out of
you
it.
know what? I could do anything.
Corona to the bone. I love That's a great one.
Corona, full blown corona to the bone.
That's so good.
Those are new shirts right there.
That dude.
Corona to the bone.
And then have a picture of the person with the mask on. My wife
It's
brought me
actually
one,
kinda
by the
great.
way.
You treat it like
When I
Banksy.
was sick, she brought me one of those masks to wear. I'm like, I'm already.
That's our yeah.
This is to
Really?
keep it out. Although I don't think that shit works.
I don't either.
You know what? Yeah, this little piece of flimsy paper across my mouth
Yeah.
is gonna stop.
You just look like
The
a
virus.
fucking asshole.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like. It seems like you like want attention.
As
the
much
way-
as we travel to, everybody in the airport's wearing them. Everybody on the plane.
Here's
wearing them.
my thing with this. The most germs travel from your whatever you're grabbing. It
Yeah.
doesn't travel the way you think it does
No.
through the fucking mask. So what are you doing? Unless you're wearing the goddamn gloves too,
Right.
And you're not getting on the
And
plane
guess
with
what's
me.
dirty? Hey, guess
Yeah.
what's dirtier than a toilet seat?
What?
Yep.
Your
Yeah.
phone.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
iPhone. Your,
Oh, yeah.
your,
I said yeah, like I knew. It
I said
mattered.
iPhone, but for those of you who are your Android,
You know what I like
dude,
about
I get
the way you
so
said
mad when I
poor?
text somebody and it comes back green.
Oh yeah.
Furious. I go, oh, guess we're not friends anymore then.
You just gave me another shirt idea for us.
What?
The only thing worse than calling someone poor is calling someone poor and not pronouncing the P, because that's what you did.
Did I say or?
Where you go, if you're poor. You know, like, poor. That's a good shirt right there. You do a blurred out P.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it says
yeah.
poor.
And just dot.
Will, how's San Diego?
Well, I don't live there, but the shows were fun. I
You
went
had
to
shows
this
there,
week.
didn't you?
I had shows there this week, and they were great.
Hometown shows.
They weren't hometown shows.
Yeah,
I mean, I get love there, but not, I don't live
When
there.
they bring you on stage, are they like, ladies and gentlemen, our own homegrown prodigal son returns?
You know what's funny is you got me embarrassed to promote it even. Because I think people just give me shit. Yeah, I'm doing a weekend there, the 6th and 7th, and I don't even want to mention it because everyone's
headlining?
going to be like, hometown fucking.
Are you headlining it?
No.
Oh, is it?
Poet, mention it. Pour yourself out.
Wait, your
What's-
mic's back out.
What's the show?
Just at Madhouse Comedy.
hear it?
Madhouse Comedy Club, San
Can you hear it now? Are we
Diego.
good?
You're in now, yeah. The 6th and 7th. But yeah, so I feel embarrassed.
I love the way he kind of slides in the 6th and 7th.
6 and 7. Yeah, you can promote
Tickets
your own
available at
shit.
willburkart.com.
Wait, are you headlining?
No.
Of course not.
I'm doing the, well, I'm
That's cute.
headlining the Comedy Palace May 9th. That's a Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good.
Cool.
But again, it's yeah.
Jay. We were there at one point.
I know. Remember that when we did the Comedy
It was
Palace a
Comedy
weekend
Palace,
together?
right? Well, I
Remember
opened for you.
I think we went in your car when you still had the old Camry and the
It
tire
was.
blew. Remember we already had
yeah,
changed
that
the
makes
tire on the
sense,
side of
yeah.
the road.
I also remember,
days.
and this is something that we're gonna do on the road. We'll do a video for YouTube so people could see the experience when you're on the road with Jason. Jason is the most meticulous person. Everything is packed a certain way, and I remember I'm opening for you, and that was when I had
Everything's
the
neat,
shitty.
Everything's tidy, and it better fucking stay that way.
So I remember I opened the trunk and I go, man, your bag is, and you were like, I have 5 pairs of shoes in there. And it was like a little carry-on
Yep.
bag. I go, how?
Yep.
And he goes, efficiency.
Efficiency.
And he goes, Brent?
I used to tell
Nice.
Brent that
Yeah.
when he was opening for me. Brent, what is the word of the weekend? And he
I
would
go,
go to
Jay,
tell me,
I can't,
say it. The word of the weekend is
efficiency. God damn it. Because
No,
he
it
would
is.
always cut me
Yeah.
off with it too. He goes, efficiency. And then I remember playing the Comedy Palace, and you would be, and we're in a shitty, this is like back in the day stuff, the stuff Will's dealing with now, but back in the day stuff where we,
Motel
you have,
6 and shit.
yeah, Motel 6 style. You got the iron out, and you're ironing your show shirts, and you kept saying, you see, Brent, what you have to realize is it's efficiency.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
You don't go over it once, you go over it twice. And if you still see the wrinkle, you spread it out, and it's efficient. And it's from everything, head to toe, from the minute you get out of bed in the morning, the minute you go to bed at night. By the way, the minute you get out of bed, everyone, and I want to say this, I can't stress this enough. I hate it when people do. Make your bed. As soon as you get out of it, make it, and don't get back in that motherfucker till the end of the day.
Jason, and honestly, he's not being a hypocrite. When I'm on the road with him now and we're staying at nicer hotels, he leaves a do not disturb on the entire weekend.
Oh,
when I
yeah.
walk into his place, it smells refreshed. He tucks in everything. I go,
Yeah.
I thought you don't use. He goes, no man.
Housekeeping probably thinks he's killed somebody in there.
Yeah.
And then they get in there, and it didn't look like it. I always say this is my favorite thing to say. When I leave the hotel room, I walk out with my bag, and I open the door, and I look back, and I go, like it never happened. And then I leave.
One of the things too, when we like certain gigs that when you're on the road, comedy clubs will buy condos that are like nice. So they just
Denver.
put you in the condo, Denver or
Comedy Store.
where were
La
we?
Jolla has a new one that's beautiful.
Was it Nashville we were at? When They had a
Nashville,
condo?
nice big 2-story thing with
was-
a giant kitchen. And
I think it was Charlotte where I was actually thinking about this. Charlotte had
Charlotte
that
has
nice
one as
place
well,
in the neighborhood.
yeah.
It's like you're basically moving into the burbs. Hopefully you guys watch it. I want to hear your comments
Yep,
on it, and also
nice.
you better like it. But I remember we were staying there, and at the end of the hall, I go to your room, and it's so tucked in. The shoes are put nice. Like, here's how kung fu Jason is. He's about 1.5, 2
yeah, maybe.
size. What
Over
shoe?
6 feet. 11.
He's so organized. When his shoes are lined up, they look like size 4s. He's got little kung fu feet.
Little doll slippers lined up along the
They're
side
so
of the bed.
cute. They're like, and it just works in a way, and he has it. It's efficient.
People think I'm insane about how many. I mean, we're literally Thursday, Friday, Saturday shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a Sunday. I will have at least 5 to 6 pairs of shoes that I
Yeah.
bring because I want options, and I want them to. I like to match. Got to coordinate. R.I.P. And Witherspoon.
Oh,
John Witherspoon. He used to say that he was when in the movie he was like, you got to coordinate. You got to coordinate when shit matches. You
yeah, I
white
miss
kids
him.
don't
He
even
was
think
so
about
good.
that. But yeah, I like to have options. I may not wear all of them, but I also maybe want to have a pair of shoes for the day and
That's
different ones
true.
for night.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And then Brent will bring maybe one boot.
Yeah, big on boots. Well, not wearing them.
Efficiency.
We all heard that.
Yeah, I burped.
Oh, yeah.
It's disgusting. I'm glad
No,
I'm
I
not wearing
can't
my
fit. I
headphones.
always am
Yeah.
like, I'll bring a boot and then I bring a shoe.
Yeah.
Work out in.
Wait, your mic's back out, Brent.
Well, that might not.
That work?
That weirdly worked. Don't do that again, but that
Yeah,
did
but yeah,
weirdly work.
don't punch the expensive microphone again. Hey, count 1, 2, 3.
Up. Yeah.
And forget about 4. There you go.
Oh, it's back out. It's back out again. It may be a reason to actually put your headphones on so you can actually tell if it's out.
Here.
I actually don't want to because of the way you talk to me.
Yeah, I know. That was really condescending. Well,
I know you've tried to help.
here's what we're going to do.
Yeah, you do it. Kung Fu hands.
Try now.
Hi.
Yeah, it worked. Beautiful.
I'll just keep it here and not touch it.
Yeah, I
Kung
think
Fu
you should be
hands,
fine.
baby.
Yep, nice. Very cool.
Keep it here and not touch it. That's how I talk to my penis in the mirror. Thanks for laughing at that, kinda.
That was good.
Why do you silent laugh?
I don't want to be like yelling into the mic.
Why
I
not?
don't know.
It's fun.
Silent laughs are the
do it.
best. When you got somebody in the audience and they're silent laughing and you're like, and part of you, because you're a comedian, you're like, oh, die.
You know what's so interesting? You bring that up is, and I think you'll agree with me, just from the 10,000 shows we've done,
Right.
the worst heckler to ever deal with
Is
is
a
the
nice
heckler
one.
with the bad laugh. Because
The
they're
one
still
that's
laughing.
on your side, and they're on your side.
Yeah, because you don't know how to fuck with them, but they're ruining this.
And repeating the punchline.
Yeah.
Oh,
And everybody's looking at it like, what the fuck is that? And you're like, you want to mention it, but when you look at them, they're having the greatest time. It's just the worst.
And they put them right in front. Ugly laughing. And you're just like,
And you can't be like, stop laughing. You know,
No, you
laugh
don't.
better. Like you can't
Yeah,
say
you
that.
can't. You just have to go, what are you, a Muppet? Like, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
always, because they
nice.
sound like a Muppet.
Nice.
And then, but then you feel bad because everybody's laughing at that person, but you want the audience to have a good, there's so many things. I'll tell you one of the worst, I never thought I'd bring this up. I'm playing Austin and,
Cat.
Cap, which I love, Cap City Comedy Club, great club. And when you're on stage, people don't realize this. For people at home, when you're a stand-up, you can maybe only see the first 2 rows that are around you. Everything else is just tops of heads. So when you hear, you don't know. It might be a Muppet.
Are those
You
the
don't know.
twins from your hometown?
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear from them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they died in their own shit.
Whoa.
Come on, really? We're feeling bad? Yeah. Anyway, this is literally the worst. There are 2 things I had. This is the most embarrassing heckler I had kicked out of a show. The first one was the most eventful, which was in Kansas City, where half the 80 people of the audience had to leave, and the riot police showed up, and it was like a whole thing.
What
Yeah,
happened
it was
there?
just everybody was drunk. They had nothing to do there, and it actually wasn't that bad. It was like, it was one moment where they kept heckling and throwing shit at the people that were opening for me, and then this is years
Jesus.
ago.
What club
I
is
went
this?
up. I'm not going to mention it. And I went up and I said, everybody's talking. It's like a high school. Everybody's just talking to each other. It's like I'm not even there. It's like I'm making announcements. So all I said was, I'll wait. And I sat next to the mic and waited a good 7 minutes until everybody got quiet. Because they're all wasted with buckets of beer. And like, it was real hick. And I went, I go, okay, now I'm ready. And I went, and they start talking again. I go, okay, here's what's going to happen. Obviously, you guys want to talk. So I'm going to let everybody here say what they want to say to me. But you got to raise your hand, and I'm going to call out, and you got to be quiet. But I want to let you know, none of you are going to win. Not one of you are going to win. So they all played along, and they tried to heckle me, and I buried them, all of them. And then it ended with everybody being kicked out.
Yep. I
You
would have
know?
been like,
Yeah, and that's what they would do. And then they got kicked out. They love me, but they got kicked out. That's one thing. This is the most embarrassing thing that happened. It was in Austin. I'm on stage. You see the first 2 rows. I'm doing my act. It's a good show. All I hear is, you suck. Boo.
why do people do that?
You're the worst.
This
Fuck
person,
you. Don't touch me. Like shit like that. And I go, and I can't see over there. I go, yo. Who are you? What the fuck? Get him out of here. I don't want that shit. Get out of here.
Right.
Are you kicking me out? Yeah, I'm fucking kicking you out. And the guy was, I could see him. I could see like to here.
Yeah.
Jacked, big.
Whoa, get him out.
And I'm like, shit, right?
Yeah.
Don't touch me. And I go, well, get the fuck out. You don't need to ruin the show for everybody else. Get him out of here. Fine, I'm leaving.
Oh, no. Motorized wheel?
Motorized wheelchair from the side. Got stuck on a chair. Whole audience watching him leave. Me, can't believe you're kicking me out. Drags a chair.
Like Austin Powers.
Whoever he's with is like, you're a monster to me.
To
I go,
you?
I didn't know.
You're kicking a guy out who can't even kick.
That
Oh,
sound
man.
was in my head. It took smooth bowling.
was really-
It took forever.
Oh my.
And you heard it
and
go
you
out
could
the door.
Hear it.
You
and
hear
if you had to go out backwards, deet, 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 and he's
and then this
flipping
is all you
off
hear.
the
This
whole
is all you
time.
hear. Fucking goddamn fucking. And then you hear it.
Man,
Fucking bad piece of shit. I was just trying to have a good time.
that's crazy.
You hear a pin
Wow.
drop. Everybody watches the whole
Oh,
thing and
no.
at the same time goes, and I go, I didn't know. And then afterward, but with that said, fuck that guy.
You're absolutely.
You're an
Being
asshole.
an asshole. He's an asshole.
Like
yeah.
I don't know what happened to
Yeah.
you, but don't take it out on me. I'm
Yeah.
trying up
Roll
here.
your ass out of here, right?
It was so embarrassing.
You
though.
know, that's a great story. I don't understand people that, number one, bought the ticket to the
Yeah.
show,
Makes no sense.
and then they immediately like, fuck this guy.
I know. Jay, what's the word? You have anything wild like that? Like
Have I talked about the guy throwing the full glass of beer at me?
Oh,
stage?
I
not
don't think
on
so,
the
no.
podcast.
Okay, so I did it. I was doing a show in Scottsdale, Arizona. There's this little club called the Comedy Spot out there that I used to do, and the way it works at that club is you got 2 shows a night, and after the between shows there's like a waiting bar area, and they have everybody that's there for the second show waiting in this bar area.
Yeah.
So they're drinking in the
Yeah,
bar
they're going to town.
before they're going into the show. So there was a couple at the first show. They were drinking the entire show. So, of course, by the time I get on, I'm headlining, I'm last. They've already had a few, but they were great for the first show. They came up to me between shows and they're like, "Oh my God, you're great." And they said this, they said, they saw Joe Coy somewhere.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have a
And
show.
this is when you used to open for him, like back in
I
the day?
opened for Joe only a few times, but
Oh.
but they asked him, "Who do you recommend?"
Oh,
Joe told him, "You got to go see Jason Collings."
oh, great.
And they told me that. They're like, "Man, you were great. We loved the show." And this was after the first show.
Mm-hmm.
They were being the sweetest couple. Joe Coy told us about you, said we should come see you.
Joe Coy will be on the podcast soon, by the way.
Beyond the. Then they say, "We like the show so much, we're staying for the second show."
No shit.
But because of our experience of how comedy works and how the shows work, I'm thinking, uh-oh.
Yep.
They were drinking the whole first show. They're drinking now. By the time I get on at the last show, they'll have so many drinks in them. What's it going to be like?
Yeah.
But then I thought, but they were being so. Next show happens, right?
Were they sitting up front for the second show too, or
Right up front.
Oh Jesus.
So then the laugh thing that you were talking about, the ha ha,
Yeah.
he's doing the most disruptive, drunk laugh.
It's like Cape Fear De Niro or some
Right.
shit.
And it to the point where it was like, yeah, it was exactly like
Yeah.
Cape Fear De Niro. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And people were, I'm like, man, you got to keep,
Yeah.
And then he starts interrupting me and like wanting to talk.
He thinks you're friends.
This is the guy who was telling me how much he loved me after the first show,
Yeah.
how much he loved me in the waiting area, and then now, so much that they came and they bought tickets for the second show. He's so lit by the time I get on stage, and I can't even get a bit out. I can't even finish. He's stepping on punchlines. Then because he was at the first show, he knows what I'm going to say
Yeah.
because it was bad. So finally, I was like, bouncers, security, we're doing nothing.
Nothing.
By the way, comedy clubs across the country,
Worst.
get your security shit together.
There's a few clubs that I
are
can't
great.
name right now that Jay and I love the security of. I really can't
There's
name
some
them.
where
There's
they
some
just-
that are good, but
It's not our job is to do the stand up. We can't be
Yeah.
the security guys as
Yeah.
well, because a lot of the people, they wait for us to go, and then it interrupts the act. Use your
Yeah.
common sense. But
yeah.
so I finally was like, I motioned to the security guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it. I can go. So the security guy comes up and starts asking him to keep it down. Then the guy starts saying shit like, "Man, you fucking suck" to me.
Jesus.
The same guy that was like, "Man, what a great show. We love you, Joe." He goes, "You're not even fucking funny."
White guy, right?
I don't even remember, but probably.
Yeah, white guys drunk are the worst.
And he's yelling out, "I suck," and can't believe you're having me kicked out. And the bouncer finally goes, "Man, you got to go." He's got a full glass of beer on the table.
And he's still in the front row.
Yeah. So he's like, fine, fuck it, we'll leave. Come on, get your shit, honey. And they start acting like they're gonna leave, and to surprise me or like to fake me out, he goes, all right, and then real quick grabs the beer and chucks a full glass of beer. Right, I literally had to do like the Matrix move out of the way. It hit the comedy club logo on the back of the stage. It literally hit it right next to my head, and then they get him out.
Whoa.
Yeah, after he threw it. But that was the weirdest one to me because he went from loving me in the first show so much to buying tickets to the second show. By the end of it, he was so wasted that he not only acted like he hated me, was telling me that I sucked, and then he threw
That's crazy.
Do you think
a full glass of beer at my head.
Because that kind of term, we've seen that multiple times on the road. Like one of the things is, like when we're on the road together, Jason and I, and whether I'm opening for him or he's opening for me, it's about our show. And the thing is, we're very strict about. I know he feels the same way I feel. Is we want that show to be a show.
Yeah.
We want people, and we pride ourselves on if we do a Thursday show, we secretly talk. Let's see how many people we can get from Thursday to come back Saturday or Sunday. And we've been 100% successful
Usually
in the
it
last
happens.
two tours.
I've even seen it with you guys the few times I've went out.
Because we want to put, because it's supposed to be a show like Broadway. Like, you know, I grew up around theater, and I grew up around, and same with Jay. I mean, his dad's song, what's the name of it, by the way, so people could look it up. Our
people
intro
have been
song.
asking me about that song. If you want to hear the full song, our theme song,
Yeah.
the song is called Friends. The band is called Feather. If you go to, the only place you can find it right now is on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and search Friends by Feather,
Yep.
that will come up.
And
By the
explain-
way, that's my father
Yeah,
and my two uncles. My dad and my
Yeah.
two uncles.
So if people
wrote
are
that
wondering
song,
what that intro song is, it's Jason's dad. And my point to like bringing that up, also remix it. Send us live versions. We'd like to.
Yeah,
hear
if you
it,
want to
man.
do a cover of it, I'd love to hear
that'd be
that.
awesome. We'd
Yeah.
love to hear it. But we respect the stage so much. Like Jay knows I don't like to see an audience before I perform because my brother was in theater, and that's a big thing for me.
Right.
So we do these shows, and the most interesting thing is like we've had this like, what is the psychology of a stand-up fan compared to a music fan or whatever? Because if we're playing certain cities like Nashville or New York City or Denver, what Jay and I will do, he'll do 30, I'll do an hour and 10, and then we'll do 30 minutes of improvised music where I'm playing piano and we'll sing, because Jay and I could do that shit. Stand-up's much harder than music. We could do that stuff.
do that shit.
But the interesting thing that we both realized doing that shit is there is a certain thing with comedy where people feel, and I think it's a testament to talent as a comic, the more people think they know us because we're talking.
Right.
And so many people, like you're talking about that story, I've had people that love me, and then they feel comfortable to talk as if we're friends. They'll grab us, they'll do certain things. And one of the most annoying things is like kicking out people from shows and people talking. The second, and you've seen this, and I call it out all the time, I play one key on a piano
They
after the set,
flip out.
and I go, whoo, people go,
whatever.
woo. And it's just because in their mind they think they can't do that. It's some weird fucking bullshit.
It's because we're just talking. What we do, we're literally just talking, but make it look easy.
And it takes
make
years
it
to
look
do that
easy.
shit.
Yeah,
People don't realize it. And if you make it seem seamless, like you can go from meeting someone out in the lobby in between shows to then going on stage. Like one of the things for any comic out there that's trying to do something, and we've told Will this, your goal should be to be the same personality on and off stage. If you want to be a true comic, like the biggest thing with me was like I was two different people, and like because that's when you can improvise or derail from the bit or something, is when you're not playing a character. Because for years I was, from 18 to like 20, I was incapable of derailing. So if I got heckled, I wouldn't even acknowledge it, because if I did, I'm lost.
Yeah.
Now
That's
I
how
could
Will
be
is
like-
right now.
No,
Will's
no,
totally like that.
no, I got it.
Will cries. Will cries if you heckle him.
Jay, that was
He laughs. He whisper laughs. Is there anything whiter than a whisper laugh? He went, that's a whisper laugh. Like he's at a golf course.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just an interesting thing with comics. Like I
And
wouldn't
peop-
trade being a comedian for anything, because it's one of the greatest art forms that you could have as an artist, because nobody could tell us what to do.
Yeah.
But it also, we're the only motherfuckers. You don't hear hecklers if you're Beyonce. You don't.
Yo, no one goes up to Beyonce after one of her concert and goes, a lot of people say that I can do, you do.
Yeah, that's true.
or they'll be like, "Oh, you're actually pretty good."
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, you're a lot funnier than I thought you were going to be.
That's always nice.
Then why'd you come?
Yeah. My friends thought you were funny.
This one I get too. I'm a comedian. I'm kind of a comedian. I go, oh really? Where do you perform? Well, I don't really. My friends. I'm like,
I
well,
think I should be a comic.
You know what I mean?
Really?
I always say that how it's crazy how being a comedian you need no qualifications to call yourself a comic.
Nope. You just got to
You
show
can just
up.
say I'm a comedian.
You
Oh
just
really?
gotta show
There's
up.
no other profession
Yeah.
like that.
You just got to show. And you know what's interesting is like I did this show with a friend of ours, Adam Devine.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Guys coming out on Quibi. I got to talk about this story. I got to bring this. So,
Yeah. Do we know when is it coming out? Do they have a date? Or
June.
anything? Cool.
I overheard June. I don't know if I'm supposed to release it. Who gives a shit? So basically, the
Nobody
show.
told you anything.
Adam Devine is a good friend of ours for years. He used to work as a doorman at the Improv. I've known him 13. We've known him 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
He had
You
a
might
little
know he had like a little known show,
called Workaholics.
Workaholics, yeah.
With his two best friends, and
Yeah.
he would do
A
sketch
very
groups
limited-
with, and
success. But go ahead.
yeah, very limited success. 2 houses and a boat. But anyway, and hairline still intact. Anyway, damn it, I know it's so annoying. But one of my good friends, he calls me up and he goes, "Hey, are you scared of snakes?" That's how he opened, by the way.
Adam?
Hadn't heard from a while because he's doing movies and shit. Doing Righteous Gemstones season 2.
Nice.
In a week, he's going to shoot that. I can't wait for it. Whatever. Give me money, Adam. Anyway, he goes, "Are you scared of snakes?" And I go, "I don't think so." I go, "It's funny." That's all he asked me. "Are you scared of snakes?" Because he's doing this show for Quibi called Bad Ideas. And it's basically where he goes out and it's a bad idea. So he went to Peru and put meat on his cock and had piranhas bite it. And like,
Nice.
he brought an ice cream truck off like the biggest hairpin, like the most scary mountain to sell ice cream to people.
Wow.
Like, doing
No,
any bad
I'm good.
idea. And to Adam's credit, like I've acted with Adam a few times. He's the most committed man and he's a hard worker. And this is, I'm going to circle back to my point on this because I want to bring this up. He asked if I'm scared of snakes. I go, "I don't think so." And in my mind, I had a childhood of where I'm playing with snakes for some reason in my head. I'm
Right.
like, I grew up around the woods. I was always around snakes. It wasn't until I got there on the Mojave Desert. We went to Mojave Desert, and I go, "What are we doing?" He goes, "So basically, we're gonna put snakes, and I can't give it all away, but we're basically gonna move rattlesnakes and shit on a plane."
Hey, no way.
And I go, "Venomous?" Or
I'm
I go,
terrified of
"With
snakes,
no
by the way."
venom?" And he goes, "No, they have venom." So we have the most poisonous snake in the world, a second most poisonous snake.
Brent, can you sign this? Can
Yeah.
you sign this?
Oh
Brent?
yeah, they told me after I signed. And
Oh, wow.
And we're dressed like World War II vets or some shit. I
He's
go,
so bad, they're
I
just
go,
like,
"What
yeah.
are we doing? This is not what we signed
my
up for." He
God,
goes,
that's
fuck it."
insane.
Either way, my point is we were talking comedy. We were thinking like we talk about people think they can be comics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here in a place with a guy who went from a doorman, working his ass off, doing every fucking show that we're all doing, 10 years of 10,000 hours of whatever you got to do, does Workaholics, stars in all these movies, still grinding, works his EP on all the shit he's got to do. Same with me. Like, we love the work we do because it's our job.
But now you could see the front door of the Improv from his mansion in the mountains.
Yeah, which was on purpose. He wanted to make sure that, because that's where he started, which I love shit like that. Like, we're sentimental people like our fathers, and that's an important thing for us because you should never forget the shit you came from. But one of the things we were discussing is, like, this generation coming up, not even Will's generation, the new one, like, where you say people think I'm funny. Now you have YouTube. You have these things. So are people going to want to work to actually do those things? And is it going to be good enough? Or is comedy going to suffer from it?
Yeah, they're going to want to
You know?
put the work in to be funny.
Because as uncomfortable as that night was,
Right.
you got to go through that and know how to get out of it.
Hell yeah.
And because I had 10,000 hours, I knew how to get out of it in a sold-out show. If I didn't, I would go, I'm sorry. You
Right,
know,
right,
like,
right.
run
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Like, you don't.
It's like
I
when
don't know.
people see us deal with a situation like that, I'll still go do bar shows once in a while.
Yeah, I
because
love
I feel
doing
like it keeps me good.
How many times are we on the road and we got a local host or something and we say, bring us to when they're doing spots?
We'll
Jay
come.
and I always appreciate people with a work ethic. What we can't stand, and I can't stand this shit, is people fake bragging for no reason because they're insecure. We read right through it. When somebody goes, "Well, actually, I'm just doing this. I usually don't host. They usually let me headline
Oh,
here."
shut up. Yeah.
Just, dude, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Comedy's about being humble. Comedy isn't about being cocky. Like,
Right.
the whole point of it is we're people. Like,
Right.
everything
Not everybody's
is
like
uncomfortable.
me.
Yeah.
They didn't just show up fucking funny.
Just good at everything.
Ass bully,
You
asshole,
know?
fuck.
How do you do that, Jason? I don't know. If I knew, I'd sell it in a bottle.
I'd buy it.
Yeah, somebody did ask me. I did a bar show not too long ago, and it was rowdy, and no one was listening. And I got the whole, how do you do it? I was like, I did it because I did it over. I didn't do it like that the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love watching you do that. I've seen it a few times. I'm just like, God damn, like
Gotta get the room silent.
fun. It's fun to watch. You know,
God, it's fun to do.
I know. That's why I'm doing all those shows. So I'm
You
getting
got
good
it.
at that. Yeah.
One
You
day-
have to
and
be
one
a
day,
lunatic.
you'll be good.
One of these
One of
days.
these days,
Will.
you'll
Fingers
be
crossed.
good. And you two will headline.
Oh, those lemons
The
in my
Comedy
yard
Palace.
suck.
Yeah, right.
Man.
Talk about somebody who did prices wrong. Comedy Palace is such a fucking goddamn. Paid you $600 and paid Dalia $10
Yeah.
grand. I'll call you
Like a
out.
couple weeks later.
And we got one
Oh,
free
we only
meal.
got a little bit. I said, hey, man, I know how much you paid a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we went broke. We didn't make any money.
You're not broke. Good luck at the Comedy Palace, but they're shady as shit.
I've been going there for a while, but
You hate that I did that, but who gives a
I don't know. Okay.
They do that anyway. I understand it. Why would you give somebody more money? Like Dalia was on a show. I get it. It's a business. You can't get mad
Yeah,
at it.
but you got to treat the artist better. A lot of these places need to learn how to treat the artist. You know, there's a lot of
There's
clubs that I
really-
do that still won't put you up in a hotel.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, why not? You
Yeah.
know, if you want me to come, put me up. I'll
Yeah.
fly, I'll get myself there.
I think it's still crazy.
And by the way, when I'm working, I'm gonna deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a bad show. Put me up.
I still think it's crazy how they still pay the host and the feature the same amount of money, and it's so low. I mean, the feature's
Yeah.
getting what $100 a show. Like the wait staff's making more money.
There's some places.
Then
that
Well,
I-
the wait staff
Yeah.
deserves that. Will
Well,
let's
they
not
do.
get into that.
You know what I'm
stuff.
saying? But
There's a lot of people
at
that
least
are
it should be
paying-
like close. You know, I
there's-
don't know.
There's clubs that are still paying feature 75 a show.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah,
Yeah, it's like I understand.
a lot
you
of
got
New York
rent, you
clubs
got a
pay the
big-
host more than the feature, by the way.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
'cause it's
kind
a
of dig
lot.
that because he's
Yeah.
doing more work.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
do
totally.
more work.
Yeah.
The thing is with me is, and I agree with Jay on this, is like, look, Jay's been a business owner in his life, so you know what it's like to have to pay rent and then taxes, business tax, all this fucking property, all this shit. So I understand. I can see it from the outside. I understand why at Comedy Palace they're going to pay me less and you less. They're going to pay Dalia when he's starring in Whitney and he's like I get it. I have no problem with it. What I do have a problem with is what I agree with you. It doesn't take much to just accommodate your talent.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and it's
Yeah.
not, get a hotel room, it doesn't cost that much. And we've been with a lot, and here's how we know it's possible. Because how many clubs do we play where they treat us like people?
Yeah.
And they take care of us, they feed us, they do it
And
right.
what do we want to do? Immediately we want to go
You
back.
want to go back,
Yeah,
and
we wanna
those are
go
the
back.
clubs that flourish.
Yeah.
Always. Those are the ones that you come back a year later, they go, oh my God, everybody wants to
Yeah.
come here. Because you
There are
treat
clubs
everybody right.
that are.
not
There
that
are
hard.
clubs right now that I'm 100% sure they are going to be out of business in the next few years.
Yeah.
Because
Few of them are.
first of all, like you said, I owned a business.
Kansas City one is,
There you go.
just so you know.
I owned a business for 20 years,
Yeah.
and you pay the rent on the place. Even when the building is closed and no one's there, you're still paying that. You're 24/7. You're paying
crazy.
fucking rent.
Yeah.
So my thing is, if I'm going to stay in business, my product needs to be amazing. And in comedy, we're the reason that it exists. And people are, if you book comics, there are comics out there that are at a level where they're going to just take any show, and I 100% respect that.
Yeah,
because
you
you're
have
getting
to.
your hustle on and you're
Yeah.
trying to get your stage time.
We did it.
We did it, but if
doing
you're going to be a comedy club that's going to have headlining weekends and you're going to book,
Yeah, like actual events.
treat those guys great. Treat them good.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to come back. And guess what else? They're going to work harder. They're going to give you a better show. And a lot of people might disagree with me. I don't know. But this is my this is my opinion.
I completely agree with you. I'll
The
back it
audience
up.
is going to want to come back.
They're going to want to come back.
You,
yeah.
The last thing you want is everybody to leave and go, that show really sucked.
Yep.
You know? But treat the guy better, and they're gonna want to come back. I know a lot of comics that there's places they're like, I'm not gonna fuck it. There are places, me personally, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
I'm done with them. You
We've
know?
had that conversation about
Yeah.
places we won't name. But yeah, I'm not going back.
Yep.
I don't care what happens. Like, and the thing is it's very much, little brother just slammed the door. Piece of shit.
So mad at you.
Oh, God. Fucking scares me. He scares me.
Can you hear it?
Maybe.
Matt!
Oh, don't yell at him.
Oh, he's over here.
There's Matt.
Jesus, scared the shit out
Being
of me.
adorable.
Didn't it sound like he
Matt
slammed
Morin, ladies
4
and
doors to
gentlemen.
get
A
there?
little
What is
bit.
he, in Alice in Wonderland? What did he walk through? It's like he went through my front door, my mailbox, through, through a squirrel's nest, through
The
this.
neighbor's house.
2 fucking, by the way, we could not be Navy SEALs. We both looked this way, and then he just came from here. We'd be dead immediately.
We're looking over here, and the red dots on the back of our head. What's going on over there?
I go, Matt! You go, don't yell. No, we'll find him. Oh, God. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I live on a spaceship.
No one can hear it.
I don't think anyone can hear it. I think officially
can
because
hear
I
it.
remember.
I know.
yeah.
I've been saying it now. I sound crazy because I was listening to it and I don't hear this one. You can hear because it's coming towards us.
Yeah,
No,
what is that? Sounds like a fighter jet
I don't know.
or a friggin'
Yeah, my only advice, 'cause I'm
757 what are the 757s? The big one? I don't know. Planes. I don't know
757.
planes.
Well, that's the other thing. When I did this Bad Ideas coming out on Quibi in June with Adam Devine, we're in an airplane graveyard.
Oh yeah, that's out in Mojave.
Yeah, and it was a 2-story like fucking plane.
Big
and
jumbo jet. Yeah.
You know, like
Where first class is upstairs.
yeah. Remember Con Air when they went
Yeah,
down?
yeah.
Why don't you put the bunny back in the box? You know,
Yeah.
and like Air Force One, he doesn't know.
I know. I do. I do know.
Nah,
Con
I
Air.
don't
Nice,
trust you.
nice.
But
Watching it when you're 3.
Divine and I
I'm watching it right now on
went
YouTube.
through one of those things, and like we're like, whoa! It's like we got to be under the plane and shit, and we got stuck, and like a little thing. I'm going, we're grown men wearing this shit. We're stuck playing with snakes for no reason.
That's what. That's awesome.
It was awesome, and then we were on.
I'm at work
Yeah. Right.
being a goof.
It was great. Honestly, Adam is so fucking funny. We did have one thing. I'm not gonna give it away, but like we're alive, so I guess I do. We made it, but
Yeah.
they basically the last thing we dealt with was a rattlesnake.
Oh no!
And
The
it was a
rattlesnake.
Mojave
So scary.
rattlesnake, and it is so loud. And that's the one where I was like, well, the venom's because they were talking about it's the most poisonous snake in America.
things are
North
terrifying.
America.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's and the thing is, we're in this graveyard. There's no doctor, and usually what you do is you buy. He was telling us the guy. He's like 56 years. He's a South African, handsome ass snake wrangler guy.
What was
I
his
don't know why I
name?
had to mention handsome ass, but
Always handsome.
something about him being from South Africa. He was an old man with white hair and blue eyes, but he had that accent. I just trusted him.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
if he
yeah.
was American, I wouldn't trust him. But he was like, I'm serious. Like,
Yeah.
He goes, it's all right, mate. You're gonna, whatever the fucking
Yeah.
accent is. Because I worked at Conan, and we would have people on with their animals and stuff. No, hear me out. There is no such thing as an animal trainer. Unless the animal you're with
that's why-
speaks to you in
Right.
English, like, hey, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I hate
That's
when
why
they do
keeper is a
shit.
better term.
Yeah.
Animal keeper.
You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a you just happen to hold the thing.
Yeah.
You can't control if the rattlesnake decides I'm gonna ruin Adam Devine's movie career and strike
Dude,
him.
that-
Like I
did
hate
they
when people
rattle?
go, it's all right, he's okay. I go, you don't know if he's okay.
Were they rattling?
Oh my god, so loud.
That's so terrifying.
So
It
scary.
was so heavy too, and it was us picking it up, and we had a bucket too that we had to put it
Oh.
in. So it was us with the little things trying to pick it up. We got real cocky. Like we were
Childhood
grabbing
memory.
Oh,
snakes
good.
and
That's a
shit.
good thing to
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
Yeah,
big
it was
cock snake.
stupid
Fuck
as
you,
shit.
snake.
That's what I wanted to mention. Jinxing. Because he said don't jinx, and you said you believe in jinx. Remember, this
Yeah.
is something we talked about before. I don't know if we mentioned it on the podcast.
No,
we
not
didn't,
yet.
right? This was something I was saying because I'm the same. I only believed in jinxing things when I played baseball. That was it. For some reason, that's a big thing. You know,
Right.
you jinx things. But in real life,
like that's
as
a
an
sports
adult,
thing.
stop.
Yeah, right.
You jinxed us. No. Knock on
didn't.
wood. Shut up. We're adults. You do your thing. But when I'm dealing with snakes in the Mojave Desert and some bullshit, and Adam's going, to be honest, nothing's going to happen to us. These snakes ain't going to do shit. Like, he's saying stuff like
God.
that. And the trainer, the South African keeper,
Mm-hmm.
is going, to be honest, I haven't been bitten 30 years. I haven't had an incident in 40. And I go, can everybody stop
That's the worst.
jinxing the
Did
day?
he get bit? Did he get bit?
Well, they did start snapping. We almost
Oh,
did. But
see,
it was
bye.
But stop. That's where I'm like, stop jinxing.
Yeah.
Why do you have to say nothing will happen to us? Like in
Dude,
that moment.
Like in a movie,
And
like
those-
no,
that-
nothing's ever happened.
That rattle's terrifying.
It's
Childhood
actually
memory I have is
That's right.
when
You
I was
grew up here.
When I was a kid, I lived in a place near Agora called Malibu Lake. Malibu Lake was up near Spawn Ranch, where the Manson family
Yeah.
squatted and shit.
Looked like a serial killer
Well,
place when you took me there.
My parents
It
were
did.
friends with a guy who was a beekeeper. He was a beekeeper. He actually owned the bees that were there was an old, like in the 70s or 60s or something. There was an old horror movie called The Swarm. It was about a swarm of killer bees.
I think I've seen that.
It was a movie. Well, my mom and dad's friend, Bob Varney, he owned those bees. And he had a ranch where he had his bees and everything. And when we would go visit him, we would be we'd drive up a driveway, and then there was a part where you would stop your car, and then you'd have to walk the rest of the way. And along this walkway, he had these giant metal barrels. And whenever you got near the barrels would start rattling. So I finally was like, what the heck is that, Dad? And he goes, oh, you want to see? I go, yeah. So he'd pick me up and he showed me. And in the fucking barrels were these rattlesnakes that he kept in these barrels for security. So when you got near his property, they'd all just start rattling.
Let me ask you a question.
The most scary thing.
Yeah.
When he picked you up to look at it, you're looking in a bucket, right?
Full of snakes.
Is the top off?
Yeah.
What year was this?
Gosh, it was early 70s.
Exactly.
So I was yeah.
Because one of the things when we were capturing the rattlesnake that they said was, do not look over the bucket when I'm closing it, when Adam's catching it.
Oh, because they'll jump up?
Yeah, because they'll grab you. They can jump.
These things
they
are
can
really
jump double
tall.
their size.
Oh, double their size.
So
That
I
just
had
gave
to
me
do
chills.
this with the thing, with the bucket. I said, can I just, they go, because the other snakes, I would do what? That you were doing? They go,
Yeah.
not the rattle. You can't do that. Because they'll see you and go,
Oh.
So it's so 70s ago.
And they eat.
You want to see, son?
They eat.
And it's
so many 70s
scary
things,
in the
by the
bucket
way.
too, because it was in the bucket.
My
We'd
dad
walk
did
by
so
and go,
much shit like that. We never had car seats in the car. Huh?
yeah. They
My
didn't exist.
mom and dad had an old VW Bug that they took the back seats out of, and they built like a deck in the back of the car and carpeted it, and they would just throw David and I back there, and we're just two babies bouncing around. And then my uncle Roger, who's one of the singers and songwriters of our theme song, he was my mom's brother. He had a motorcycle, and he hurt himself. He crashed the motorcycle and hurt himself. So my dad, because he couldn't ride it, my dad rode it. But what he did was he took me and my brother, two 4-year-old twins, 5-year-olds, and he would put one on the back of the motorcycle and one on the gas tank, and we'd go driving around the hills of Agora and Malibu on this thing. Oh, my mom hated it. But yeah, it was such a different time.
Wow. You could,
My dad worked on a pipeline for a while, and we would drop him off at this place, and then
Pipeline? What do
he was a pipe fitter for a little bit
wow.
to pay bills, and we would drop him off every day for work at this spot where his crew would pick him up, and they would go work, and then they would bring him back to that spot, and we would pick him up. And every day my brother and I were always excited to pick him up because he would leave like an Oreos or something in his lunchbox for me and my brother.
Oh, that's great.
And one day my dad was great. One day we pick him up and he's got his lunch pail, and we're so excited. He goes, "Go ahead, open the lunch pail," and open up the lunch pail, and in there is a freaking snake that's digesting another animal, and he thought it was so cool and funny. So we go in there to get an Oreo.
Traumatizing.
Yeah.
My dad was nuts. But he
awesome.
was crazy.
My dad did that with like a big rat. We had these we had a pool house when I was younger, and they got a rat that was like gigantic, and it was dead and it was fat. And he would show it to
What's
me.
a pool house?
What's a pool?
It was when my parents were together. They had this like nice house with like a pool and like a pool house.
Made it sad by
Shout
saying
out
when
to
my parents
Will's
were
dad.
together.
I know.
That's when my
Made
parents
it
were
so
together.
real.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Shout out to Will's dad too, handsome man.
Bill
Bill's a handsome man.
Burkart.
He's got that nice rich skin too, well oiled.
Yeah, man. He's 70 and looks like he's.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It's
I know.
crazy, man. He's still traveling like every week, still hustling.
Great
like,
smile.
Crazy.
Well, he had a pool house. I mean, the guy
If
did
anybody
well.
sends us a snake, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Yeah, you're right.
Now I
don't
feel-
do that shit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
honestly found out I'm not scared of them now.
I'm scared of them.
Shit, I shouldn't have said that. Now they're gonna send
People are gonna do snake stuff. You know,
Sorry.
we should get like a toy funny snake just to put in the back as like a funny little.
I gotta be
callback.
honest with you though, and no, that's stupid. But well, I gotta be honest with you. That's one of those you had to be there stories, isn't it? Like, you know, when somebody says something,
Yeah.
cut, fuck.
Damn it. Almost burned them.
Nobody, unless you're in person with a rattlesnake in a bucket, you don't really process how terrifying that sound is. in a
Yeah. And they're all coiled.
Oh,
and
it's
they're ready
fucking scary.
So scared. I'm surprised you weren't. Were you? How scared were you? I'd be terrified.
We weren't.
It
We
feels
had
like you're
dealt
in a,
with so many snakes prior to that.
but you're in a controlled environment. You
I'll
feel.
I'll tell you. Here's the thing. In real life,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna speak for Adam. This isn't from him, but I think he could agree. When the camera's rolling, I'm fearless. I don't give a shit. I'll
Yeah.
fall from 40 feet. I'll do all these things. I've hurt myself. I did so many comedy falls there. I'll play with a snake. I'll grab this. When the camera's off, like, if I saw a rattlesnake out there,
Screaming and running.
helicopters, I'd be airlifted from my pool like a fucking Coast Guard. Like, I guarantee I'd be scared. But we're doing shit just to yes and each other.
Yeah.
Like, Adam ended up in a stare down with a snake, and I can't give a lot away because I don't know what's going to be used. It was a lot of improvising. But, like, even getting on the back of a 50C motorcycle, like Dumb and Dumber,
Right.
like where I could feel the tire burning my nutsack in a stupid jumpsuit, and
Right.
Adam's never driven one of these, and I'm going like, why am I on this in the middle of a place that's
Were you
so
the passenger?
dangerous? Yeah, so I'm behind him because
Oh,
he picks
nice.
me
The
up.
bitch seat too.
Nice.
I would never do that. I'd be like, no. But when
Yeah.
when the camera's
Cameras
rolling,
are
so
rolling.
when the rattlesnake happened, there's just too many people with cameras rolling. So part of it is your alpha, and your part of it is
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not gonna. But me and Adam did look at each other when it was in the bucket, because the wrangler would do this with his hands above it to get it go.
to get it rattle. Oh God!
And he goes, "Let me irritate it," and he would take the stick and poke it.
Let me irritate it. Let me just kick the shit out of its box.
All right, action.
That guy was great. I wish I remember his name because he loved his job. It was so. I love seeing people love their job. It's so fucking cool. Because
I love
I
my
trust
job.
that person. I don't like. You don't want a snake keeper, and you're right. We're not calling them trainers. You don't want one of these snake keepers
you
or
don't
animal
train an
keepers.
untrainable thing.
Yeah, you don't want this. Yeah, go ahead. I don't care. You know, like somebody working at a water park. You want the guy that's like into it, or the girl that's into this shit. Like, oh, touch the mouth. You know, like, oh,
No.
yeah.
They're squeezing venom out of it. Have you ever seen that on TV where they got the snake by the head and they get venom out of its teeth?
Well, one of the things he was talking about is like he got stopped by TSA because he would go to Thailand and buy snake venom in bottles.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he had a bunch of snakes in his bag.
Yeah, he would have venom because I guess it's like the antidote is like antidote. Jeez, what am I
Antivenom.
fucking
Uncle Dote.
kid from the 30s in the Bronx? You got the antidote? That's not a good bit. Nah, I'm gonna make it a bit. You got the antidote? Tyler got bit by a snake over there on Store Street.
On what street?
I don't know, man. It was a bad bit, and I tried to
Yeah, you
commit
tried
to it.
to save it,
you
but
gotta
it didn't
when
work.
you're at the Comedy Palace, which is, by the way, such a palace. It's got carpets and booths.
Yeah.
The
Food.
thing is, burned them, smooth bullied.
Nice.
I don't know what it was. It was like they got venom. You got to get like cobra venom or
You
something.
have to get an antivenom for it. Yeah.
Something like that,
Yeah.
and it's like $50 a bottle in Thailand. They tried to take it from, and it's 500 bottle here, but you need 6 of them to get rid of the
Jeez.
poison.
Did they have those on set?
No, and then I said,
good.
And I said, well, what do you need that for? He goes, well, a rattlesnake bite, the Mojave rattlesnake. It's one of the most poisonous, in North America. And I went, well, do you have any? This one isn't venomous.
So you're like,
and
which
he goes,
box do you keep
No,
that
it
in?
is. I said, so this snake that we're about to be alone with is venomous? I go, do you have the He goes, no. That's why we were talking. Like, there's one EMT on set, but no ambulance. So I go, so what happens?
I wonder if sucking out the poison's a real thing.
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
I should have asked
Somebody
him that. I didn't
bites
ask
in your head.
questions. I was just concerned
Suck it
about
up.
losing
But then
my
doesn't the
mind.
venom get in your
But then you spit
shit?
it.
You spit
It's
it
like
out, but
siphoning gas.
but it's still there. Isn't it still
Yeah.
like in your?
Yeah, and I'm not a swallower. So
All right.
that was very immature. Sorry, I'm a spitter. So if you're get bit by a snake, just know I ain't swallowing, bro. And that's another thing. Our job is usually not dangerous.
Yeah.
Unless you
Stand
get
up.
a full beer.
Well, I have
thrown at
had
your
one
head.
but that's not even the only time. I had a guy at. You ever do a show at 3 clubs?
Yeah, I remember that.
That place you cannot see the audience.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a show there. This guy's heckling me, and I'm burying him. And I'm wearing glasses. Thank God. Out of nowhere, a big piece of ice flies at me and hits my glasses.
Oh, I
was
remember
like-
this.
Which I immediately got furious because if I wasn't wearing my glasses,
Yeah.
I could have taken my eye out. And I said, "Yo, I'm gonna see you from the stage." And
Yep.
I've done this a few times.
You have. I
You were there
remember
one night
that
at the
Laugh
Laugh
Factory.
Factory.
I'll tell that one right
And I
after this.
said, "I'm gonna come talk to you after the show." I go, "Meet me outside." I was pissed. So after I'm done, I walk out to confront this guy.
Did you know who he was because you couldn't see
No
the audience?
idea.
No, you can't see anything.
But I watched him walk out, and I can get an idea of what he had like longer. So I went outside, and I knew exactly who he was. And as soon as I walked out, I was like, "Shit, this guy was, if not 7 feet tall, close to it, giant dude."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man up, Collings." And I was like, "Yo, did you throw that piece of ice, man? What do you?" And he's like, "Yo, man, sorry, my bad. I'm drunk. It was my bad, dude." And he apologized, and I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, thanks." But I noticed that all the dudes in the show followed me out and were standing behind me.
They had your back.
They all had my back. So he was
Nice.
like, "This is not a good idea."
I
What's crazy is
remember-
I went to the venue 2 nights later, and I walked up to go in. The guy that was the giant that threw the piece of
Bouncer.
ice,
Oh.
he was the bouncer.
He was a bouncer.
What?
And I went, he was just there on his off night. Like he was taking a night off and hanging out.
Of all the people to do it, that
and I
makes
was like,
no
oh.
sense.
Now that
He
you
had
mention-
no memory, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I go, "Do you remember?" He goes,
Jesus.
"No." I go, "You threw a piece of ice at me while I was." He goes, "I don't remember that, dude, but I heard about it. And again, I'm sorry, bro."
No,
I was
got
like,
two
"What
stories.
the
I got
heck?"
two
Weird.
sub stories of this. I'm 19 or 20 years old, and I can only get into the Laugh Factory if I'm with you or Dalia or something.
Right.
And you're playing the Laugh Factory, and there's this guy full-on training day gangster, tatted up, like shaved head, white shirt, straight up Compton shit, a Spanish guy, and he's
racist.
I just try to avoid saying cholo so much.
He's a cholo.
Yeah, he's a cholo.
Is that offensive?
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
If
Everything
you're a
is.
cholo, you're a cholo.
But I'm on the balcony. If you're at the Laugh Factory, I'm on the balcony watching. He's getting heckled, but Jay actually killed the set. It had but this guy was so upsetting to him. He looks up at me when he gets off stage.
On stage. Into the microphone. I looked up
he
at
goes,
you.
I'm going to fight that guy. And he's looking up at me. And then everybody's leaving because you were like last. And you went outside. And as you're walking, I'm down. And you look up at me again. You go, I'm going to go fight that guy. And you were so mad. But
on stage into the mic, like during
Yeah.
your
First time. And then when I was done, I
There you
looked up
go.
and go,
I'm going to go fight him. And he
That's
followed him
so
out.
fun. I love that.
And then the funny thing is, I go outside like, oh, and I run down there. Maybe Delia was, I don't remember. But we're all outside like after the show. And you're like, where is he? Where is he? And then he comes up to you with some girl like he was with.
Yeah.
Hey, man, good show, man. And then you went, can I talk to you for a second? And Jason takes him by himself, takes his arm and his neck and starts talking to him.
I had him by. I took him by I put my hand like on the back of his head, and then I had his hand that was closest to me. I was like, oh, let's go over here and talk for a
And
minute.
he walks away. I can't hear what they're saying, but he's calmly saying something to this guy who's much bigger than him, scary as shit.
Way bigger than me.
All I see is Jay being like, and then the guy going, oh, sorry, apologizing to you profusely.
Then we were like homies at the end of the night.
And then I was asking, why'd you grab this? And like, what was that? He goes, well, I can control if he's going to do something.
But
I
I
he's
love
so
that.
cool. He
If he,
just,
if he takes a swing at me with the other hand, I could turn him so he can't do that.
yeah, he was just.
Because even if they're gigantic,
I would have gone, what's your problem? You want to go?
Why are you being mean to me?
but that's the thing. Even if they're gigantic, you are still a black belt. So like, even if
Well,
they're gigantic, like you can still
That doesn't
do
matter.
a little.
Anything could happen.
The black belt thing is,
Or at least you're trained. Like you know
I'm
what you're
trained.
doing.
That's
Yeah,
what I like to
exactly.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I've earned black belts, but like
Sure.
there's so many schools out there that just give them away pretty much. So
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
but I
And
am.
didn't you
trained.
also say that some of the worst is a white belt who doesn't know what they're doing?
Oh, when you're training?
Yeah.
The only time, especially in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the only time I ever really got hurt is when I was rolling with a white belt because they're nervous and they're twitchy and they move.
Yeah.
I remember showing up to class one day, and at the time I was training with Haja Machado of the Machado brothers. I was
Yeah.
training with him, and I show up and he's got a shiner. I was like, wow, what happened? He's like, white belt.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Took an elbow from a white
basically,
belt. You know?
You're flaily, I would assume, flaily style of.
Probably.
I
Yeah.
would assume
Yeah,
very
yeah.
flaily.
Kind of like he walks. Yeah.
Like who's that?
Just everything is everywhere.
yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You know, like Charlie Brown when he's
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah. You ever
or
seen Will
Snoopy.
run? It's like, yeah, that's Will running.
Oh, the other bouncer thing I was gonna say was when you and your brother were bouncers, who was on last Sunday brunch, and you guys are both about 6 foot and a half.
Yeah.
I remember you telling the story of, hey man, there's this giant drunk guy that you
Oh, there was a guy. The bartender
being a
goes,
bouncer.
Jason.
He was a bouncer.
Yeah,
he calls
yeah,
me
yeah.
and goes, Jason, there's a guy you got to kick him out. I go, what's going on? He goes, he went into the restroom, but he's literally been grabbing all the girls' asses
And
and
this
they're
is
like
Long Beach?
complaining. I'm like, yeah, Seal Beach.
I love your
Beach.
bouncer stories. They're the
Yeah,
best.
and I'm like, he goes, yeah, he went into the bathroom. You got to go ask him to leave. I'm like, all right. So I go into the bathroom and there's just one guy at the urinal, and he's a fucking giant. And I'm like, God damn it. And I'm alone in a room with him. He looks over his shoulder at me while he's taking a piss and goes, are you here to kick me out? I was like, yeah, man, you gotta go. And I'm like, here we go. And he says, all right, let me finish up here. I'll just leave.
Thank
And
God.
made it so easy.
Wow.
And then he left, and I was just making up stories. I go, yeah. I grabbed him by his fucking Adam's apple. I said, if you don't leave instantly, I'm gonna rip this out of it. But he was just really super nice about it.
When you're didn't you like throw somebody?
Last night that I was a bouncer, and when the night I knew I had to quit, is a guy was getting a little crazy, and I tied him up. I grabbed him by the and I kind of gave him a shot to loosen him up a little bit, because if you hit somebody in the jaw, man, everything just gets loose. It's pretty awesome. So I loosened him up a little bit,
awesome.
but because we weren't allowed to punch, we weren't allowed to strike because we can get in trouble for that. We
Yeah.
were just allowed to like.
Because I could
You know,
sue the place.
defend and subdue. But you know, when nobody's looking, bop, shot to the jaw, right? But I was so angry. But it was, and here's why I knew I had to quit that job, because the anger that I had at that moment wasn't just about this guy. It was like all kinds of stuff in my
Yeah.
life happening.
Yeah.
Money. I'm trying to deal with
You're taking it out, yeah.
And I took it out on this guy, and I basically had him by the shirt collar and the back of the pants. And I used his head to open the front door. And I opened the front door with his head, and then I threw him into a tree
Yeah.
that was right in front of the bar. And as soon as he hit that tree, everything flashed like, oh, you just could have broke this guy's neck. You could have gotten sued. You could have put this place out of business.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's enough. And the next day I called. I said, hey, I'm not coming in anymore. And they're like, well, yeah, we understand. We understand. And I had my kids were young at the time. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a good position to be in. I haven't had a physical altercation since then.
Well, I also didn't you put someone in a headlock at Haha like a year ago?
No, my brother wouldn't let me. Some guy flicked a lit cigarette at me on Swallow.
Ooh, that would
Wait, no.
Yeah, what am I doing on stage as I'm getting people throwing
I
shit
know.
at me?
No, this
You
was
know what I
this
mean?
was
You know
outside
what?
of the Haha. Someone was
Fucking
fighting and
hate that
you
you're
intervened.
Oh, no. What happened is these two young guys
Yeah,
walked
this
up.
is what I was thinking about.
Yeah, a bunch of comics were hanging out in front of the Haha. And, I'm with a bunch of most of the guys around me at the time were younger. This was like last year
Yeah, it
or
was
something.
very recently.
And it's a bunch of young comics and me standing there. And I'm like, the 40-year-old something guy with bifocals on and gray hair. These two young guys pull up in a car. They get up. They're already immediately, I'm like, oh, these guys are drunk. They think they're the shit. They're trying to be funny. They're in front of a comedy club. And that's another thing that happens. So anytime, like normals, I call them normals, or muggles, if you want to be a nerd, get around comedians, they think they have to be fucking funny. And you don't. You could just have a normal conversation. But these guys are like drunk and they're in a mood. And the tall one, for some reason, zeroed in on me. And I think it's because he thought I was an easy target because I was older, had gray hair. I was just kind of chilling, and he comes up to me and they're eyeballing me and they're talking shit. And all of a sudden I go, this guy's about to swing on me. He's about to swing
you could
on
tell.
me. So I took my glasses off.
That's my
Right.
favorite.
Just kind of took my glasses off and put them in my pocket and just stood there. And then before I could do anything, another comedian, I can't remember his name, basically jumped the guys.
Jesus.
So I didn't have to do anything. And these are young guys, by the way. Like, they're my kids' age. These guys.
The guys that were starting
the guys that were starting shit. Had he made a move towards me, I literally just would have defended myself and not tried to hurt
Been
him.
like,
Because he's a
yo,
drunk
yeah.
kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm at a different place in my life where I think about my kids and
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like that.
true. I didn't even think about
I don't
that.
want
yeah.
anybody punching my son, you
Yeah.
know? So out of nowhere, these other guys fucking jump them. And now these guys are on a full-on brawl. I'm not involved.
Yep.
Then one of the guys gets the young kid in a headlock and just starts punching him in the face. That's when I stopped. I went to stop them. And it was a trip. The turnaround was that the kid that was about to try to beat me up, I'm protecting this kid now.
You're protecting the kid that was going to try to
I'm
beat you up.
protecting him now because I'm like, stop kicking this poor kid in the head. And I'm like, I'm holding
So
on
you
to
have
you.
him protecting
I'm
him.
holding him.
How did you
Yeah.
get him out of getting his headlock thing?
The comedian knew me, and I said, "Hey," and I kind of pull him apart. I'm holding him there, and I'm like, "Everybody stop!" And I'm like, "Are you?" I'm literally asking the kid that was about to try to beat me up. I'm like, "Are you okay, man? You need to get out of here and go home. Are you okay?" And I'm like checking him, looking at his eyes, and I'm making sure he was okay. But I'm like, "Go home."
Jesus.
But that's like the adult Jason.
Yeah.
But 20-something-year-old Jason would have been like, I'm next. As soon as he's done beating the shit out of that guy, I would have taken his head. No. But yeah, I ended up protecting the kid that wanted to, and they were on something. They were
of course
more
they
than
are.
drunk, and
That's
they
usually
didn't
how
know
it
what they were
happens.
doing. I
Speed or
guarantee
meth.
they had no memory of what happened the next day. They were just sore and like, why does my eye closed?
Yeah,
why is my eye
weird?
closed?
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny you bring up a good point when you were talking about the bouncing that big ass dude out of the bathroom. This is something I want to bring up. And actually, we were talking. Look, we're new to this podcast stuff, but we love the interaction and the shirts you guys are sending and
Yep.
different things. So please email your questions. But I have a question. This is what I'll start with. You brought this up when you kicked out the big ass bouncer guy. There are a couple things that guys lie about, and I'm a victim of it. I never lied about having sex. I would never do that to a girl. I always thought that was like a terrible thing to do. I did lie about having a girlfriend out of town when I was in elementary school, Jessica Rose. I made up a whole backstory.
But was
how
that
I
a
met her.
made up name?
Yeah, all of it was.
Good name, though.
But I was in
Jessica
5th
Rose
grade
is
because I
hot,
wanted a
though.
girl.
Yeah.
I wanted a girl, to like me in my school. So I made up that I had a girlfriend in 5th grade, and Jessica Rose, and I met her, and I gave her a rose, and it was a hotel in New York. Shut up. And
That's
but the
hilarious.
other thing that guys do, and I will admit it because I'm man enough, is fights. What actually happened? Because you're saying like when you left and guys want to leave, you could say whatever you want. I'll tell you straight up. When I was in college and I would go home, I had a lot of friends who were violent. I remember one time that everybody's like, "Get him!" Whatever, and I go out and these guys. I got so scared of these guys. I went and I ran away. Got away from them. They went one way because they were drunk. I tripped, fell, hit my head. ran back around to my friends. My friends were like, "What happened?" I go, "Oh, dude, I got him."
They got a good shot in.
They got one in.
But you should see
Nothing
that. It's
happened.
like
I ran away like a pussy. I was out, and I
hilarious.
just tripped over my own fucking foot on gravel.
Dude,
you know?
I avoided it at all costs. Even
course.
after I started taking martial arts classes and all that stuff, I hated fighting.
Yeah. So
Hated
send
it.
in. That's my question. Send in your favorite. If you ever made up a girlfriend, did you ever make up a girlfriend?
No, I just never had any girlfriends.
Sad.
Anyway,
Okay.
Sad.
Well,
no, yeah,
send in
never
your
did.
So
send in
sad.
your fake girlfriend story or your fake fight story that your friends don't know. You can be anonymous. I want to read those. I want to
Yeah.
see if I got plenty more, by the way, that are like that where I made shit up.
Send it to what's our email?
Sorry, I checked.
Pod
Is it-
thelion'sden
no,
at
the
Gmail.
email.
Email's podthelion'sden at
it is?
gmail.com.
Yeah.
It's a weird name.
Podthelion'sden.
What are we at?
Yeah. About an hour.
All right, let's get the hell out of
No,
here.
no, 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 no.
I want to go.
Let's hang out.
Well, let's at least just do a song.
We are friends, digging each other.
Scroll right there. You see?
Is it a squirrel?
What is
Oh,
it- what-
whoa.
What's he gonna catch the squirrel?
I know. What are you going to do?
What is he gonna do? It's gonna just run away and he's gonna come back all weird.
What if he walked in right now with just just looking at the camera, squirrel, just like,
And that's we just cut.
Yeah,
we
cut.
are friends.
I wasn't lying.
no, it was, you saw it. You weren't Lion's
Doing it, dropping
Den.
fruit on my goddamn thing. That's not my fruit.
Hey, we have a
Good.
PO box. If you guys want to send us any artwork
Yeah,
or anything like
let's just
that,
do some-
people have been asking
some housekeeping stuff.
Yeah, let's housekeep.
So so yes, we do have a PO box. If you want to send us anything, I know someone's like sent. We'll see if that actually comes through. But if you want to send us anything for the studio, any lines or anything like that,
got it.
the PO box I'm gonna put in the video here. But if you're just listening, also it's the address is 4804 Laurel Canyon Boulevard, PO Box 223, and that's Valley Village, California 91607. And again, I'll put that in the description.
Maybe don't go between the numbers.
True. I had a stroke a little bit. That's fine. And yeah, and then podthelion'sden at gmail.com. Send us questions. Send us anything. Brent, go ahead.
I want to see if I retain this just off what he said.
Go ahead.
If you want to send us something, our P.O. Box, it's 4804.
Nope.
Fuck.
Damn it. Good try though.
Oh, that was the
trying-
yeah, no.
Was I
Close.
right?
Oh wait, actually, what say it again?
4804?
Okay, he was right.
I was?
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
that was really-
4804 Laurel Canyon Boulevard,
Yep.
Valley Village,
Well, what's the PO box? number?
California.
Oh, he knows the PO box.
P.O. Box 223
That was the easy part.
91607.
Bam.
Fuck yeah.
Wow, that's really impressive.
That's
Jesus.
awesome. Also, dates coming up.
Oh,
We're
yes.
going to be in Philly.
Philly, this is the big one we want you guys to come to. This is going to be me and Jason Collings doing the greatest shit. Don't throw ice, don't throw glass. And I swear to God, if we get in a fight and you win, I'm going to make it up and I won.
Yep.
So don't even get started with us. But it's March 19th to the 21st. Come on out.
Philly, the Punchline.
Philly
Is it-
Punchline, which
Yeah.
is, speaking of clubs run well, this
that-
is a place that fucking
one of my
treats it right.
favorites.
And if you live in Philly or even the Pennsylvania area, it's such a great spot
It's
to
in
go to.
Fishtown.
They take care of you.
And the website is punchlinephilly.com for tickets.
Yeah.
Or just Google, just Google.
Yeah,
Brent
I'll
Morin,
post
Jason
about
Collins.
it too. I'll make sure that we're going to be posting a lot about it.
Yeah, and we'll try
And,
try to put it on the Instagram too, just to make it easier. Instagram is the Lion's Den Pod. Twitter's at Pod the Lion's Den.
And for people that are being aggressive, I love it with the aggression. Website's coming. P.O. Box is now set up so you can send shit.
Yep.
Merch is coming.
Working
We're
on
working on it. Please keep sending your ideas. We're inspired, and we'll always give shout outs and credit to it.
Totally, yeah.
And
thank you for sending
send
stuff.
your lion. We're getting all these emails of people drawing lions and shit.
Oh, I
It's
love it.
kind of awesome. So please keep sending that. And we'll shout you
Yeah,
out.
and just send just any I think maybe the next Sunday brunch for Monday, whether we do it next week or the week after, whenever we want to just do some question and answer stuff.
Yeah.
So feel free to just send us general questions, whether you're
General questions.
relationship advice, life advice, just
Also,
anything.
email us your favorite fake story you tell friends, a fight
Oh,
story
sure.
or a romance story.
Right on.
Like your fake, be honest. And I want details.
Details.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's a fun thing.
As of March 5th, my new website is going to be up.
Perfect.
I revamped my whole website. My brother's designed it. March 5th, jasoncollings.com.
Awesome. We'll maybe post it on the Instagram when your website's live too. Just make sure everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe
goes
don't
to
talk
shit.
to him like that. I think.
Yeah, maybe watch
Trying
the
to
tone.
help, trying to help your website.
Unless you want
Oh,
full-blown Corona to the bone.
wow.
I love that.
Awesome. Nice.
How do I?
Sorry. Oh, that was a good one.
Anyway, it was a nice little Sunday brunch.
Yeah, this was great.
We'll be back
love these
next
stories.
week. We're going to keep it going. And when we
got some good guests. I know we haven't had guests. We got some really good guests coming up. You guys are gonna have some. We're gonna have some
But
fun
I
with some
like
buddies
that.
and guests.
We're gonna have some great guests. Joe Coy's gonna be on it.
Yep.
Russell Peters is gonna be on
Tone
it.
Bell's coming in.
Tone Bell's gonna come on it. Andrew Santino's gonna come on it. I'm just gonna put it out there because he already said yes. Steve Nash eventually is gonna come on it. I'm just gonna start saying this shit. You put it out there, they're coming. They said it. So it's on you guys now.
Brad Garrett.
Brad
said
Garrett's
he's
gonna come on.
And hey, hit people.
Dennis
up.
Quaid, I'm gonna get on this motherfucker.
Yep.
And
Hit people up to what?
To tell people to like go on the Lion's Den. Hit your favorite comics, actors, actresses. Everybody be like, yo, you got to do the Lion's Den.
send us anything. You know what?
Yeah.
And also send us emails of just your heart and your stories.
Send us money.
That's our PO box is full right there. It's checks.
All right. Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
All right, I'm out of here.
Peace.
My
All
little
right.
brother's scaring me.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Don't say bye, guys, when I say bye, guys.
How long?
We are friends, digging each other.